and I have another story for you from the Angela Carter book of fairy tales, an English one called Mr. Fox. Lady Mary was young, and Lady Mary was fair. She had 2 brothers, and more lovers than she could count. But of them all, the bravest and most gallant was Mr. Fox, whom she had met when she was down at her father's country house. No one knew who Mr. Fox was, but he was certainly brave and surely rich, and of all her lovers, Lady Mary cared for him alone. At last it was agreed upon between them that they should be married. Lady Mary asked Mr. Fox where they should live, and he described to her his castle and where it was, but strange to say, did not ask her or her brothers to come and see it. So one day, near the wedding day, when her brothers were out, and Mr. Fox was away for a day or 2 on business, as he said, Lady Mary set out for Mr. Fox's castle. After many searching, she came at last to it. A fine, strong house it was, with high walls and a deep moat. And when she came up to the gateway, she saw written on it, "Be bold, be bold." But as the gate was open, she went through it and found no one there. So she went up the doorway, and over it she found written, be bold, but not too bold." Still she went on, till she came into the hall, and she went up the broad stairs till she came to a door in the gallery, over which was written, be bold, but not too bold, lest your heart's blood should run cold." But Lady Mary was a brave one, she was, and she opened the door, and what do you think she saw? Why, bodies and skeletons of beautiful young ladies, all stained with blood. So Lady Mary thought it was time to get out of that horrid place, and she closed the door and went through the gallery, and was just going down the stairs and out the hall when who should she see through the window but Mr. Fox, dragging a beautiful young lady from the gateway to the door. Lady Mary rushed downstairs and hid herself behind a cask just in time as Mr. Fox came in with the poor young lady, who seemed to have fainted. Just as he got near Lady Mary, Mr. Fox saw a diamond ring glittering on the finger of the young lady he was dragging, and he tried to pull it off, but it was tightly fixed and would not come off. So Mr. Fox cursed and swore and drew his sword, raised it and brought it down upon the hand of the poor lady. The sword cut off the hand, which jumped up into the air and fell, of all places in the world, into Lady Mary's lap. Mr. Fox looked around a bit for it, but did not think of looking behind the cask. So it was that he kept on dragging the young lady up the stairs into the bloody chamber. As soon as she had heard him pass through the gallery, Lady Mary crept out of the door, down through the gateway, and ran home as fast as she could. Now it happened that very next day, the marriage contract of Lady Mary and Mr. Fox was to be signed, and there was a splendid breakfast before that. And when Mr. Fox was seated at the table opposite Lady Mary, he looked at her and said, "How pale you are this morning, my dear." "Yes," she said, "I had a bad night's rest last night. I had horrible dreams." "Dreams go by contrary," said Mr. Fox. "But tell us your dream, and your sweet voice will make the time pass till the happy hour comes." "I dreamed," said Lady Mary, "that I went yestermorn to your castle, and I found in the woods, with high walls and a deep moat, but over the gateway was written, be bold, be bold." "But it is not, nor was it so," said Mr. Fox. "And when I came to the doorway, over that was written, be bold, but not too bold." "It is not, nor was it so," said Mr. Fox. "And then I went upstairs and came to a gallery at the end of it, which was a door, on which that door was written, be bold, but not too bold, lest your heart's blood should run cold." "It's not so, nor was it ever," said Mr. Fox. "And then I opened the door, and the room was filled with bodies, skeletons of poor dead women, all stained over with their blood." "It is not so," Nor it was not so, and God forbid it should be so, said Mr. Fox. Then I dreamed I rushed down the gallery, and just as I was going for the stairs, I saw you, Mr. Fox, coming up the hall door, dragging after you a poor young lady, rich and beautiful. It's not so, nor was it so, and God forbid it should be so, said Mr. Fox. I rushed downstairs and just in time to hide myself behind a cask, and when you, Mr. Fox, came in dragging the young lady by the arm, and you passed me, Mr. Fox, I saw you try to get off her diamond ring, and when you could not get it off, Mr. Fox, it seemed to me in my dream that you took out your sword and hacked off the poor lady's hand to get at the ring. It is not so, nor was it not so, and God forbid it should be so, said Mr. Fox, and was going to say something else as he rose from his seat, as Lady Mary cried out, "But it is so, and it was so. Here is the hand, and the ring I have to show." And she pulled out the lady's hand from her dress and pointed it straight at Mr. Fox. At once her brothers and her friends drew their swords and cut Mr. Fox into 1,000 pieces.